So, Alan, it's approaching the end of day two, and it's still quite the scrap up front in the solos. Pierre Bischoff ahead of Philip Colbert, but he's certainly keeping him honest.
It certainly is. It's tough competition out there. Philip was ahead earlier on today now, but Pierre has really just put the foot down and he started motoring. There's not a whole lot in the difference between them now at this stage, and it only takes a sleep break. If Pierre gets tired and has to pull over and take an hour off a bike, that could actually mean that Philip will catch up
Yeah,
fairly quickly onto him. So that makes a huge difference.
the pressure's on, and there's no word that Pierre is suffering with that broken collarbone that hasn't really had a chance to heal since he broke it a few weeks ago.
Well, let's put it like this: he's not going to tell us about it if it is. He seems to be riding well enough to say that it's not affecting him. So I think, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, William McLennan ahead of the battle, in the head of the battle for third place at the moment, ahead of Zamboni, Mack, and Longworth, Musgrove, and Sorrell as we run through the solos. And still, Aoife is out there as well. Aoife Henry is riding well through Manor Hamilton now very shortly.
Yeah, she's done really well today. We were speaking to the crew earlier on as well. She's feeling good. She's feeling strong. People are tired, there's no doubt, but then there's people tired in every single team that's out there. But she is doing really, really well. She's very strong out on the road.
Yes, super ride by the White River Wheelers in the two-person category. They often don't get a lot of publicity, do they? The two-person crews, but it's not as difficult as solo, but it is extremely tough for those guys out there.
Oh my God! No, yeah, you're right. They probably don't get as much recognition as they should. Um, with the two-person, it's actually quite hard because you have to decide what the length of time you're going to be out on the road is. And so you might go out and decide you're only going to do half-hour slots, or you might decide you're going to do an hour. So I actually have somebody here in HQ with me, Declan Brazel, who did two-person this year in Race Across America and actually won the two-person team in Race Around Ireland a number of years ago as well. And he'll tell you the same thing. It's getting that time right. That's actually what's crucial. Now you have to remember as well that if one of the two-person teams, like if one of the two gets injured, then you're down to solo, and that's happened before as well. So yeah, it's a really really tough category.
Yeah, tough category and a great job being done by White River Wheelers. The Wombats, Tyrconnell Wheelers, and Beach Boys all sort of locked in combat for second place. But White River Wheelers through Clifton now and going well towards the end of day two. Among the four-person crews, well, that one we need to give them a mention. Fellow Club Balrother. We managed to talk about them
Well,
and with glowing tribute and a fantastic job that they were doing in our last bulletin, but we
yeah,
forgot to
yeah.
give
Can,
them a
can
name.
I can I can I say this is what happens, Declan, when I'm up for 30 hours and you go, Alan, I need to do an update, and I go, sure, why not? Let's have a look at the board and see what's happening.
I don't think they're
Um,
giving you any sympathy at all. Yeah, yeah. But they're well ahead. They're through Galway and Team Recycled running in second ahead of Team Joyriders. Box of Cogs still
yeah,
pushing on
I
as
I
well.
will
But
say
yeah,
I will say, Declan, about Balrottery. I was actually out with them a few weeks ago. They happened to be in a sportive that I was riding in. Those guys are strong, and I mean strong. And they've put a huge amount of work in this year, like all teams, but they've put a lot of work in, and they're really, really clued into how they're supposed to go fast. And it's showing out on the road, there's no doubt about it.
yeah, they're through Galway, well through Galway at this stage, and heading for Listoon and Team Recycled. Just our little snapshot there. Currently working through Uachtar and heading for Galway City. Among the eights, it's all about the H8 Lawlers at the moment and their battle with Carn Wheelers. It's good old scrap.
Yeah, that's going to be ding dong, as we say, all the way along. They're still on course for the record, and of course, that's what they're chasing down. Now, we know as they come into Kerry, it's going to be pretty tough. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep the momentum up. Now, again, it's going to come down between those teams as to who makes the least number of mistakes from here to the finish line. That's what will actually decide this as well. So it's not just about the speed that they can keep, but also how little mistakes they can actually make.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's about logistics, athletics, and sheer grinta being able to suffer and endure. So yeah, it's a great
yeah,
job being
quite
done by
often.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And quite often we say that the crew won't necessarily win it for you, but they can certainly lose it for you. But there's no doubt that the crews on these teams are absolutely flat to the mat now, making sure that they can keep the speed up. And then with the other teams out there, it's the same with every team. No matter what speed you're doing out there, the logistics are quite tough, and it's about being able to keep the wheels moving going forward all the time. That's what it's all about.
Well, it's working well for those two teams and for Team Make a Wish Waterford and Team
Mm.
Jack as well. Among the
Yeah.
ultras, they're pressing on. Tony Keane in good shape, but well, actually, Tony Keane had his problems, but Chris Beattie is riding well ahead of Sean Hernan and Noel Cusick.
Yeah, Chris is doing really, really well. Very strong out there. Unfortunately, you mentioned Tony there. Tony's had to pull out of the race. It is a tough decision for anybody to make. But yeah, tough decisions can be good decisions sometimes as well. And he wasn't well out there, so that's pretty good. But Chris is absolutely flying. The battle behind, yeah, like nobody's going to give up on this. And then when you get over as far as Galway and you got that little bit of a tailwind, hopefully, and you're coming home, that's where the battle will really start to go. We'll start to see who has the energy left at that stage to go as fast as they possibly can across the country.
Yeah, they're all pretty closely, tightly bunched. Well, that's great. We'll catch up with you again in the morning for another update. And yeah, I hope everything's going well there at Race HQ.
Oh yeah, we're having great crack. No, we've got a great team of people who are actually working in the background here. We do get a little bit of time to sleep, but we've got some fantastic people working, and it's great to be here. Actually, what happens in the HQ is the phone calls will come in from each of the time stations as the riders reach that time station to call in, and we write down what time on the board. We write down on paper. We have it on computer. But more than that, we get an opportunity to actually chat to them and just see how they're getting on out there, so we can help them in any way.
Yeah.
But anyway, leaving all that aside, I'll talk to you in the morning.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it and keep pushing. Well done to all.
Thanks, Declan.